Good evening guys, welcome to Videos Online Academic Tutorial. Thanks for watching our videos online. Please, if you have not yet subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do well to press subscribe button and the notification bell in order to see all of our educative videos online. Please remember to share this video with your friends, families, relatives and colleagues in school. Thank you and God bless you. Today we are going to be considering a topic under mathematics known as what? Variation. Variation is a mathematical tool which we use to relate two or more quantities together. Now, I'm talking about variation. There are different types of variations. We have 4 different types of what? Variation. Number 1 is what? Direct variation. Number 2 is what? Inverse variation. Number 3 is joint variation, which is the direct and inverse variation together. We call them what? Joint variation. And the last one is what? Partial what? Partial variation. We are going to consider these 4 types of what? Variation and how they are applied to our daily what? Activities. And know that these variations are used even in deriving what? The mathematical what? Relationship between quantities in chemistry, especially when we are talking about gas law, talking about Boyle's law, Charles law, Avogadro's law, and so on and so forth. We use variation, especially the inverse, the direct, and the joint variation. So this variation has a wide application to it. And another thing that you need to know about this is that variation is one of the questions that JAMB do ask in what? In mathematics. At least 3 questions on it is going to come out when you are what? When you are doing mathematics in JAMB. And mind also, why is also found on this thing in what? Both in theory and what? And in objective. That's why you have to watch this video till the end. So stay with us. God bless you. Amen. Now we have what? We have what? Types of what? Variation. And the first type of variation we have here is what? Direct what? Variation. Direct variation. I'm talking about direct variation. Direct variation is a variation whereby what happened to the first quantity also happened to the what? Second quantity in the same manner. For instance, if I take what? V is directly proportional to T. Now, when I say D is directly proportional to T, we are saying that V is equal to what? As we increase the value of T, so also the volume also what? Increases. So whatever we do to the first one of it will affect the second in the same manner. So that's why we call it what? Direct what? Variation. If you increase the first one, the other one will increase. If you increase what? The second one, the other first one also will what? Will increase. So that's that about what? Direct variation. And whenever I wanted to use what? Direct variation, we use proportionality what? Sign for it, in which we just use V directly proportional to T. That's how to represent. And we replace what? The proportionality sign with what? Equal to and K. So this is how we represent what? Direct variation. And that's just that other word, direct variation. And we're talking about what? Inverse what? Variation. Inverse variation is such a way that as the first one is increasing or the second one is increasing, the other one is what? Is decreasing. What? The opposite of what is happening to the first one is happening to what? The second one. So what do I mean by that? For instance, when we take what? P is inversely proportional to what? V in Boyle's law. So as you what? As you increase the what? The volume, the pressure will decrease because it's an inverse what? Relationship. One is what? Joint variation. Joint variation has to do with what? Combining inverse and direct variation together. The joint variation, we have joint what? Joint variation. It has to do with what? Combining of what? Combination of what? Direct and what? And inverse what? Variation. And we can see this in general gas law. As we combine P, V is directly inversely proportional to what? Inversely proportional to what? To T multiplied by what? 1 over P. So we have, you can easily say what? V equal to what? K T over P. So this is a joint what? Variation. This is a joint variation. Now that's that about that. And the last one here before we go into our calculation is the what? Is the partial what? The partial variation. We are talking about partial variation. Partial variation has to do is what? Is a unique type of what? Variation in which we have two what? Two constants. Here a quantity partly what? Varies to the constant and also partly varies to another variable in the relationship or equation given to us. For instance, now if I have x would be will be partially varies with with constant a, and s is partially varies with with another variable which you call y. So when you have this partial variation is interpreted as a is s equals a plus you introduce another constant here, ky. So that's that. So we have two constants where a and k are constants. Where a and k are constants. So these are the two constants that we have in partial variation. So let's quickly go to the problems before us and know how to apply direct variation, inverse variation, joint variation, and partial variation in solving those problems. And the first question says that now if y varies directly as the square of root of x, if y varies directly as the square root of x and y equal to 3 when s equals to 16, calculate y when s equal to 64. So now remember it said y varies directly. Now it's a direct variation as the square root. The square root is like recovery. It's directly proportional to proportional. Varies directly as well. Square root of varies directly as square root of x. Square root of x. So y varies directly as square root of x. Because it is directly, so that's how there's no 1 over here. So y is equal to what? So introducing the constant, now y is equal to k square root of x. So that's this is the relationship. So from the direct variation, and then we now say when y is when y is 3 and when s is 16. So we put we put y equal to 3, s equal to 16. So when y is equal to y equal to 3, s equal to 16, the relationship becomes 3 equal to k square root of 16. So we find square root of 16, we have k, and 16 square root of 16 is 4. So we have 3 equal to 4k. And if I multiply by 4, we have k is equal to 3 over 4. So we now come back to to the equation now, which says come back to we call that y equal to k root x. So now when k is equal to when k is equal to 3 over 4, so I've gotten it. When k is equal to 3 over 4. So we have y equal to 3 over 4 root x. So this is the relationship. This is the relationship. If you ask you to calculate the relationship, this is the relationship according to the direct relation. Then that's the ends. Calculate y. Calculate y when s is Calculate what is y when x is equal to 64. Calculate y when x is equal to 64. So we have y equal to 3 over 4 square root of 64. So which is square root of 64 is is 8. So we have 3 over 4 multiplied by 8. So 4 here 1, 4 here 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So y is equal to 6. So we have 6 here. Option A is the answer. So that is that. Question 2 says that if x is inversely, question 2. If x is inversely proportional to y, if x is inversely 1 over x. Inversely means if x is inversely proportional to 1 over y, because inversely proportional means 1 all over. So 1 over y. And x is Look at this, x is 2 whole number 1 over 2. When y is equal to 2. find x. We are asked to find x. What is x? If y equals what? 4. Now from the variation, they say s varies inversely to what? To y. That is 1 over y. So x is equal to, replace the what? Proportionality sign with what? With k over what? Y. So the other one now, we can calculate our what? Constant. What's our constant? We look for our constant first. So we have by cross multiplication, we have what? K times 1, which is k, equal to what? X, y. So from here now, we can easily get our what? K by substituting this what? This x equal to 2 over 2 and y equal to what? So x is equal to what? X is equal to 2 over 2, which is what? 2 times 2 is what? 4 plus 1, 5 over 2. Then y equal to what? 2. So k will definitely be what? 5 over 2 multiplied by what? Y, which is 2. 2 cancel 2, we have what? We have 5. So k is 5. So we now go back to this relationship. Now we call the relationship which says x equal to k over what? Y. Meaning that x is equal to 5 over what? Y, because our k is what? 5. Now we are now asked to calculate what? X when what? When y is equal to 4. So what is the value of x when y is what? Equal to what is x when y equal to what? 4. So definitely we have what? X is equal to what? 5 over what? 4, which is what? 1 over 1 over what? 4. 1 over 1 over 4. Option what? C. You can see it's very simple. The question is very simple than to what? Than to miss in what in the exam. So that's why you have to get it right. Now, this one is what? We have number 3 now. Number 3, y varies directly as the square what? Y varies directly as the square of what? W as w square. Y varies directly as w square. When what? When y now, when y is equal to what? 8. W equal to what? 2. Find what? Find y. We have to find y after all. Find y. Y. When what? When w is equal to what? 3. Now, this relationship y varies directly as w square. So y is definitely what? Kw what? Square. Now get your k first by substituting what? Your what? Your value of y, 8 and 2. So we have what? 2. We have 8 equal to what? K multiplied by what? W square, that is 2 square. Which will give you what? Look at this, we have 8 equal to what? 4k. We have both sides by what? 4. So this one cancels out. 4 here, 2. 4 and 8 is 2. So k is definitely what? 2. So if k is 2, then your relationship then y equal to kw square will now become y equal to 2w what? Square. So that's your relationship here. 2 what? Y equals to 2w square. So now we can now find our y. What is y? When what? When w is equal to what? 3. So we have y equal to what? 2 into bracket what? 3 square, very simple, which is called 2 into bracket 9 equal to what? 18. 18, we have what? 18. So that's that about that, 18. So next one, he said that the p, number 4, p varies directly as q. P varies directly as what? Q. And inversely as what? R. This is a joint variation. P varies directly as Q and inversely as what? R. So P varies directly as Q and inversely as what? As R. Please note that when Q is equal to what? When Q is equal to 36 now. When Q is equal to what? 36. Then R is what? 16. P is what? 27. We are asked to find what? The relationship between P, Q, and R. Just this time around, we are asked to find the relationship. Now let's look at how to find the relationship from what? Relation given to us. So P is directly proportional to what? Q multiplied by 1 over R. Since they have the same thing in common, so spread that P out and multiply the Q and 1 over R together. So we now have what? P is inversely proportional to what? Q over what? R. So now we are having this one together now. Now replace what? The constant of proportionality. Replace this proportionality with constant K. So we have P equal to what? KQ over R. So P equal to KQ over what? Over R. Now where Q is equal to 36 now, Q equal to 36, P is 27. So we have 27 equal to, that's your P. Your K is unknown. What is your Q? Your Q is 36 times 36, K times 36, all over what? All over R, which is 16. And K times 36, we have what? Cross multiplication, we have 36 times what? 36 times K times 1, it gives what? 36 what? K equal to what? 27 times 16. Divide both sides by 36 what? Divide both sides by 36. So 36 cancel 36 here. So let's see whether we can cancel this one out. So 9 here, 3, 9 here is going to give you 4. 4 here 1, 4 here 12. Okay, 4 here 1, 4 here 4. So that's that. 9 here 3, 9 here 4, 4 here 1, 4 here 4. So we have K equal to what? So your K here is equal to 12. K here is equal to 12. So if K is equal to 12, go back to your relationship. So from your relation, you have KQ, you call that the relation is what? P equal to KQ over what? R. Now that your K is equal to 12 now, we now have what? P equal to 12Q over R. So this is your final what? Answer. This is your final answer. So this is your final answer. We have the P equal to 12Q over R. P equal to 12Q over R. Option what? B. As simple as that. Now let's say that P varies jointly as M and U. Q varies jointly as M and U. Now P varies jointly as M and what? U. So that is multiplication. P varies as M and U. So M times U. But let's leave it like that. And inversely, and P also varies towards, and P inversely varies towards as Q. Inversely varies as what? Q. This question is becoming complex a little bit. P varies directly as M and U, and P inversely what? Varies as what? Q. So P is inversely varies as Q. So given that what? P. Given that P is what? Now they are not giving us that P is equal to what? P equal to 4, M equal to what? 3, U equal to what? 2, Q is what? Equal to 1. So now let's say find what? If you find what? The value of P when M equal to 6, Q equal to 4, Q equal to 8 over 6. Now let's first get the relationship before even finding what? The value of what? P here. So now let's get the relationship. So P is directly proportional to what? M multiplied by what? U. And P over Q inversely proportional to 1 over Q. So we have P directly proportional to MU multiplied by 1. This one become MU together. Multiplied by 1 over what? Q. So we have P is equal to now K, because it will be 1. So K MU, but MU times 1 will be what? MU. So K MU, we place the optionality over what? Over Q. So we remove this what? Proportionality sign and we put Q and put what? Equal to and K. Remove the proportionality sign, we put equal to K mu over what? Q. So this is what? This is the equation here. Now let's substitute the value. Substitute the value here. What's our P? Our P is 4. K multiplied by what? M is 3. U is 2 and Q is 1. So if everything now, multiply this one, 3 times 2 is 6 times K is what? You have 6K by cross multiplication now. K times 3 times 2 is 6K. 1 times 4 is what? 4. We have multiplied by 6. K is equal to what? K is equal to 4 over what? 6. So the relationship now, from the relationship now, P equal to KMU now over Q. When you put what? 6 into this one now, P will become what? 4 over 6 mu over Q. And because this is a fraction now, the 6 will come down. So finally, P will be what? P here will be 4 mu over what? 6Q. So that is what? That is the relationship here. Then we can hence calculate what? The question given to us. Now calculate P when M. So when, what is P when M is equal to 6, U equal to 4, Q is equal to what? 8 over what? 5. So we have P equals what's our P? 4 multiplied by what? That is 4, using this formula, 4 multiplied by M, 6 times U, 4 again, over 6 times 8 over 5. That is 6 times 8 over 5, which are what? They are 2. Now let's see how we can solve this problem. So this one will be what? 4 times this is what? 24. 24 times 4 will be what? 24 times 4 will be 90 what? 96. This one times this is what? This is what? 24. 24 times what? Will be 96 over, or 96 over what? This divided by 6 multiplied by 8 will give you what? Give you 48. 48 divided by 5, which is equal as 96 divided by what? 48 over 5, which is equal to 96 multiplied by 48 over what? When you change this division to what? Multiplication becomes 5 over what? 48. So 48 here 1, 48 here 2. 2 times 5. P will be equal to what? P here will be equal to 2 times 5 will be equal to 10. 5 is equal to what? 10. So the answer is what? C. So you can see this calculation is as simple as that. So you have to be careful as to change this 19 divided by 48 over 5, and that's how you get 10. Now the next, if R varies inversely as the square root of S and T. If R varies as the square root of S and T. If R varies inversely as square root of S and what? Square root of T. Or you can even say inversely square root of S and T. That's it. That's how you write it. Square root of S and T. So, or you can even say varies inversely of what? 1. R is varies inversely of square root of S, and R is varies inversely of what? Square root of what? T. So you can say it like that, or you combine the two together. So whichever the case, we are still going to have R is inversely what? When someone multiply this one, it's going to be what? R, we are having R here. R is inversely proportional to what? Square root of what? Root S times root T will give what? Root ST. So R will be equal to K over root what? S what? T. So we now ask that if R varies inversely as the square root of what? S and T. How S varies with what? How the S varies with what? With R and T. Meaning that we have to make S solid of formula. How the S vary with what? R and T. So from here, make S solid of formula. To make S solid of formula, you have to cross multiply. So we have what? R root what? ST equal to what? K. then square root both sides to remove this s. You have to make s square of over. You have to get the relationship. So square both sides now, square both what? Both sides. We have what? R square root of st. Now we have square both sides, square root. So this one will be r square root st all dot square equal to k square. So this one cancelled out. Now we have r square now multiplied by what? Xt equal to what? K square. So be careful about this. We have what? R square st equal to k square. Now divide both sides by what? R square t r square t r square t. So you have to divide both sides by what? Divide both sides by r square what? T. So we have what? This one cancel out, this one cancel out. So we have what? S is equal to k square equal to k square over r square t. So you can see that you know that this k is constant. So k is constant. So we don't need to talk about k. But s now is now what? But s now is what? Is inversely proportional to what? To r square t. So r square t, s is inversely proportional to r square t. So x is inversely proportional to s is very inversely proportional to r square and t. Very good, very good. Option what? Option B. Option B. Please take note of that. For number 6. Number 7. The cost of a car is partly constant and partly varies with time. Now, when you hear partly constant and partly varies with another quantity, which is time, know that that one is what? Partial what? Variation. It's partial what? Variation. No doubt about it. It is partial what? Variation. So how do we go about it? So it said the cost of a car service is partly constant and partly varies with time. It takes to do the work. The cost of the car partly varies to the work. The cost and very partly to the time it takes to do the work. It costs what? 3,500 for 5-hour service and 2,900 for 4-hour service. Find the formula connecting the cost in error with the time t hours. Hence, find the cost of a 7-hour service. This is a partial variation. How do you do partial variation? Look at this. They said the cost C is partly varying to the constant. Just pick a constant within yourself. Constant what? A. Let's use A as our first constant. And plus what? Partly varies to what? To the variable t. And this variable t must have its own constant. So let me introduce constant what? K. So we have kt. Where t is the variable. So now that's the what? That's the relationship. That's how you write partial relationship. And that's say it costs what? For what? It costs 3,500 for 4 hours for a 5-hour service. So for 5 hours for time 5-hour service, it costs what? The cost is 3,000. The cost is 3,500. So now, if I want to interpret it here, so the situation here, it means that 3,000 now, 3,500 according to this formula now will now be A plus what? K times what? K times T, which is what? 5 what? K times T now will now be what? Which is 5 times K. So no T is 5 now, 5 times K now is now be 5 what? K. So that's that, about that. So when T is equal to 5, the cost for 5-hour service is 3,500. So substituting now 3,500 now, which is what is our cost? Which is our cost is equal to what? A plus 5-hour times constant. So that's for the 5-hour service. Please note that. Please note that. And also for the 4-hour service, when T equal to 4, the cost is what? 2,000 900. So when you put it inside that equation now, when you put it inside the equation above, we have what? 2,900 equal to what? A plus 1. This time is 4 hours. 4 hours. So 4 hours now, that is 4 multiplied by what? K. That's the time is 4 multiplied by 4K. Now, so that's that about so we substitute what? The two. You can see we have a kind of simultaneous what? Equation here. This simultaneous equation. A simultaneous equation is a question where you have two unknown. Simultaneous equation is a question where you have two unknown, and that equation contains equation 1, equation 2. So we are solving this simultaneously. So the equation here contains two unknown, and it's having equation 1 and equation 2. So it's called simultaneous equation. So now we have what? How do you solve simultaneous equation? You solve simultaneous equation by either using what? Substitution method or what? Elimination method. We solve simultaneous equation by either using what? Substitution method or what? Elimination what? Method. But here I will suggest you use what? Elimination method, because it's very fast. Very fast to use. So as to save time, I'm using what? Elimination method now. So using what? Elimination method to solve the simultaneous equation above. Simultaneous equation. Now you label it equation 1, equation what? 2. Now the elimination method says that you minus equation from each other. You minus the equation from each other. So equation 1 now. Equation 1 minus what? Equation what? 2. What do you have? And I minus equation 1 from equation 2. Please note that don't allow this thing to come this way. Minus equation 1 from what? Equation 2. So I'm using the elimination method, and the first step I'm taking is equation 1 minus equation 2. So I'm putting minus here. So 3,500 minus what? 2,900. We have what? 600 equal to A minus A to give you what? 0. So A will cancel A to give you 0. So we have nothing left here. We have 0 plus 5K minus what? 4K. 5K minus 4K will give you another what? 5K minus 5K give you what? 1K. So we have what? Therefore, K is equal to what? 600 naira here. So your K here is 600 naira. So you can now calculate what? So from in equation what? In equation 1 now, substitute what? We put what? Put 600 naira for what? For K. Put 600 naira for what? K. What's equation 1? Equation 1 is what? 3,500 equal to A plus 5K. Now, and you know that your K is now 600. So we have 3,500 equal to A plus 5 into bracket 600. So we have what? 3,500 minus what? Equal to A plus, but you multiply this one will give what? 3,000 naira. 3,000 naira. So 5 times 600 will give what? 3,000 naira. So making what? Making a sort of formula now by transferring what? This to the other side, transfer this to the other side. We have what? 3,500 minus 3,000 equal to A. So we have A equal to what? 500. Because 3,500 minus 3,000 will give what? 500. So we have A equal to what? 500 and K equal to what? K equal to 600. So A is 500 and K is what? 600. Now they say we should find the formula connecting the cost and the what? Connecting the cost to the time. So from here now we have C is equal to what? A plus KT. Now we have C equals what? What is your constant A? 500 naira plus your what? Your time T. Remember they use capital letter, you can also leave it as capital letter or small letter. So that doesn't mean. But this was scale was 600 naira. 600 naira what? T. Now that's the question for the what? Connecting the what? The cost price and the time together. Then find the cost of 7 hours service. Find the cost of 7 hours service. So when T is equal to 7 hours, when T equals 7 hours, when T equals 7 hours, we have a C equals what? 500 naira plus 600 naira into bracket 7. So this one will equal to what? 500 naira plus what? 607. That should be 4,200. 4,200 plus what? 500 to give us 4,700. 4,700. So that's that about that question. Question number 8 says S is partly constant and partly varies as Y. S is partly constant. So S is equal to what? Literally A plus what? X varies as what? As Y. Partly varies as what? Y. So we have K Y as well. So this is it. When Y is equal to 2, when Y equal to 2 now, when Y equal to what? 2, X is equal to what? 30. When Y equal to 2, X equal to 30. So what is this one? What will this one become? This one will now become what? 30 equal to what? A plus 2 times Y now what? 2K. Now when Y equal to 6, X equal to what? 50. Y equal to 6, X equal to 50. So the equation is what? 50 minus A plus what? 6K. So 50 equal to A plus 6K. So find the relation. So just as we use this word, elimination method for this, also use elimination method for this. Using what? Elimination method for simultaneous equation now. Elimination method. So when you say elimination method, you have what this one is minus 1. Minus this one from this one. So now, let me use it. The elimination method now. So 30, 50, that is minus what? 20. Equal to A cancel A, we have 0 plus 2 minus 6K. 2 minus 6K is what? 2 minus 6K is equal to what? Minus what? 2 minus 6K is equal to minus 4K. That is 2 minus 6. So I wrote down minus 4K. So minus 20 equal to what? Minus 4K. That was like minus 4. Minus 4. Definitely we have what? K equal to what? 5. Because minus cancel minus 4 and 20 is what? 5. So your K is 5. So in question what? Question 1, put 5 for what? For K. In question 1 is 30 equal to A plus 2K. This is question 1. In question 1 is 2. So we have what? So definitely when you put K and you put 5 equals A plus into bracket 5 now, what do we have as your what? A. So this one will give you 30 equal to A plus 10. So A is definitely 30 minus 10. A is equal to what? 20. A is equal to 20. So let's now look for what? The relationship between X and what? The relationship between X and Y now. Let's look at the relation between X and Y. Between X and Y. So we have what? X is equal to A plus what? KY. So what's your X now? X equals to now, what's your A is 20 plus K, which is 5Y. So 20 plus 5Y, that's the relationship here. Now, then we have to find X when Y is equal to 3. So what is x when y equal to what? So we have x is equal to what? 20 plus 5 into bracket what? 3. So we have what? 20 plus 15 equal to what? 35. So that's that. The answer is 35. So we've come to the end of today's class. Please, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do well to press the subscribe button and notification bell in order to see our subsequent videos here on Builders Tutorial Academic channel.